Hey y'all, I want to try this one more again. There we go. It's a little bit better. We'll try this one more time. So welcome to Single Talk. And tonight what I'm going to do is just share something with you guys that's kind of been on my heart as it pertains to being single, as it pertains to being saved, and as it pertains to, just trying to walk this whole thing out, right? And so what I'm going to do is just share something that I was reading. And I did have a couple guests, but we're having some technical difficulties. So if I'm able to bring them on, I will. If not, you'll still at least leave with a message. And so, when you're dealing with, or you're thinking about the concept of being single and trying to walk this thing out, we live in a world that does not abide by the standards. Hey, Monty, thanks for the heart. We live in a world that does not abide by the standards, that are set, if you do have a certain faith, if you are a believer, and so it makes it difficult, especially if you're young. I might bring Miss Amani on live in a minute here. Especially if you're young and coming up, and I'm not going to even say that, but just in general, because there's one set of rules over here. And then there's another set of rules over here, and it can make it really difficult. And so I was asking just some of my friends about, how do they make it through, for lack of a better word? How do they make it through this Christian single walk? Is it possible? Is it possible to uphold this standard? Is it possible to uphold this standard that is it, can you truly hold yourself until marriage? Is celibacy a real thing? Or are you how many people are being truthful about that? People say I've been celibate, but really it's only been 3 days. But hey, congratulations, because that's a big deal for some people. And I know it is. Ish, I want to bring you on this camera, girl. This whole spot is left open for you. We could be having our conversation right here. But I know, and for some people it is. And so I want to be able to bring those examples to you so that you're able to see that, no, I'm not in it alone. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. If he's holding himself, you know what, mate? It's really about, like Aisha says, self-control or discipline, and so if you discipline yourself in one area of your life, then you use that same method in other areas of your life. So it is very possible, but it can be difficult. It can be challenging. I can really get into some things, but I will not on today. You know what? I don't know if Imani is still there. Oh, I can't bring you on the camera. Imani, I may bring you on the camera because I am really curious to see. Give me a yes if you're open to being on the camera tonight, Imani. Exactly. Imani, are you open to being on camera tonight? So anyhow, while you guys are deciding that, I wanted to share this. This is something This is something that I read. So I'm going to share this, and then Imani, I'm going to bring you on, okay? So Imani is going to be kind of an example of our... Yeah, girl. I'm going to read a few to get your life. Get your life. So I want to read this, though. It's going to take me a little bit. So you got maybe about 5 minutes, Imani. Get your life. So this is something I read. It was really interesting to me. It says, what does the Bible actually say about dating? And then literally right after that, it says nothing. And it doesn't technically say anything about dating. And so I'm like, well, Lord, how are we supposed to follow the book if it don't have anything to say about dating? And then it's a really good article, so I'll make sure I share it with you guys. But it says, in most aspects of modern life, God doesn't provide cookie cutter answers or formulas. But be encouraged, though he may not always provide us with the direct plan, he always gives us everything that we need to get where he wants us to go. And though the Bible doesn't talk directly about dating, it does speak volumes about relationships. So that's what I thought was good. Godly interactions and principles that can be applied to how you date. So 1 Corinthians 10:31 reminds us that no matter what it is we're doing, it can be used as a means to glorify God when it comes to dating. Oh, then it says, when it comes to dating, I think we could all benefit from relaxing a bit about searching for hard and fast rules and learning to apply godly wisdom to every single part of our lives. So it's instead of like singling certain things out, it's like it's becoming that whole person, and then everything else is added unto you. You guys feel what I'm saying? So that's that process. So it doesn't say specifically anything about dating, but it does talk to you about relationships as it pertains to yourself, as it pertains to people that you love as a friend, people that you love romantically, and people that you love in your family. So there are directives on love. So you won't see those words specifically dating in the Bible, but it will guide you on love. And, you know, you have to seek God first. And then all of those things will be added unto you. But if we can just get like really real, and all of that sounds good, right? It sounds so great when we're sitting here talking about it together on a camera. But then reality hits. We talked a little bit about holidays last week about, being single for the holidays. You have all these things that kind of go on. And sometimes, it's like, okay, how do we really uphold this standard? And so, when you're dealing with dating, we're still human, regardless of this, regardless of what I'm reading. I am still 100% woman. Okay. Who is attracted to men, and so we have to be careful, so then when you're dating, you have teachings that say there are certain types of ways that you should date. You should date in a group. Now, I have an issue with that. I do. At this age. I think things change. Amani, when you're ready, just say yes, and then I'll add you on, okay? What are your thoughts on group dating? I feel at my age, in my 30s, I don't want a group of people on a date with me. Aisha says, protect your heart at all costs. I love group dating. I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Yes, Jennifer. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you guys, it's real. So there are churches, or when you're a believer, that they don't expect you to not go out and enjoy yourself. So group dating is, again, it was something I did when I was in high school. And this is why I like to bring other people on so I can have a different perspective. Yes, ready. So what we're going to do is, yay, just as soon as I said that, Imani said she's ready. So we're going to bring her on and we're going to chat with her. Yes, exactly. You see, it's for singles. I don't know why you dipping over, Dexter. Jennifer, real conversations need to happen one-on-one. That you can't discuss in groups. I agree to some extent. Bex, come on in here.
Hello. Ignore my messy room in the back.
Get your life. Come on here with this head wrap. Yes, head to toe. Okay, so you kind of hear what we're talking about. Today we're just talking about, really having a standard, while dating, especially if you're a believer, if you're someone, that is trying to have, again, a certain standard. Like, how, I guess what I would do, or what I would like to hear from you, is for you just to share with me. Maybe we'll start here. What's your walk? Because you're currently single, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, and how old are you?
21.
And oh, Come on for the babies. 21 years old. So what's dating like as you're definitely a millennial. You like top of the chain millennial. So talk about dating at your age and kind of how you separate yourself kind of from the standard norm of the world.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a challenge, and I don't know if I can really speak for all millennials because I'm really different in that sense. And I think a lot of my peers, women specifically, have a difficult time like accepting what their standards are and deciding their men based on their standards. It's so crazy that we're having this conversation today because I literally had the longest conversation with one of my peers today, and she was like, I just feel like I'm asking too much. I feel like my standards are too high.
That's good.
And her standard was literally she wanted I don't want to put her information out, but her literally she was saying she doesn't want the guy that she's with to follow a bunch of pages on like social media of like women and like lingerie and like lustful pictures of women, and like that was her only thing that she was asking, like she really didn't want him to do, and she was like, I just feel like I'm asking too much by asking him not to do that, and I'm like, no, like that's perfectly fine. Like you can, like that's not a high standard,
right?
And I hate so much that my peers feel like they have standards that are too high, especially for simple things like that. Like that's not asking too much. That's the least. That's the least he can do.
Right.
So I was just really trying to let her know today that the man that she wants in her life and desires in her life, that God can only bless her with that when she's ready to give up the guy who's not meeting her standards. And I know, and I was telling her, like, I know that's really hard because you kind of are in a position where you're comfortable with this right now. You're comfortable with the things that unfortunately you let slide, you know. And because of that, it's kind of hard to go backwards. Like, oh man, like I know I had these standards in the beginning, but I didn't, you know, follow through with them. So it's kind of like you going back on your word, and I think a lot of us struggle with that.
I think the question that kind of comes up with that is, what are we afraid of? Because I'm telling you, it's not just your age. There's women that are in their 30s that are my peers and my age. I know women that are in their 50s and even in their 40s and even older than that, that for some reason we feel like we have to adjust ourselves and adjust what we feel, you know. I mean, it's like, when did we, because when we were babies, nobody cared about. It was like, it's about me. This is what I want. Feed me, clothe me, whatever. And I'm not saying we should be selfish like that, but there was a time in all of our lives where we did think about ourselves. And so the question I would pose is then what is the fear? What's the worst that can happen? And I think that we feel that if we say what our true standard is, that we're going to lose something. You know, or that we might lose that particular person. And this is what I've learned, and I don't know if you've had this experience, is that you have to teach people how to treat you.
Man, everybody in all kinds of relationships.
Exactly. Friendships, romantic relationship, parental relationships. Once you become a woman, like, these are my boundaries. And in some ways, a lot of times when I did have that fear, but I did it anyway because I just chose to love myself in that moment. The person usually ends up wanting you more.
Exactly.
Or they'll hit the door, and that's cool, because really, do you want somebody like that anyway?
Right. It's like you dodge that bullet. Like either way, you win. Like either you really get on that journey of self-love and accepting who you are and not settling for that individual. And when you decide to do that, you win either way, because either they walk away and you dodge that bullet, or they try to get you back and it's like, see, I tried to tell you.
Exactly. So this is another question that I have. So I don't know if it changes like where you are. Wait, hold on. Somebody just said women are difficult. Hold on. Fire just said women are difficult. Okay, I guess to each his. I mean, it depends on the person. See, I don't like when people do generalizations.
No. Yeah.
So it's the person. Okay, but my question, y'all maybe lose my question to Imani. So my question is this. When I come from an older school generation, so I have an understanding of roles, at least in my mind. I believe that I should be asked out on the date. But I've heard people say no, like, you know, women, y'all can be the aggressor. So like, what's the standards at your age for approaching somebody? Like, if you like a guy, what do you do?
For me personally, I'd rather not approach a guy. Like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really like weird in that area. I would so much rather be approached by a guy. I can't see myself being the aggressor. Like, even if I happen to see a guy that I think is nice looking or something like that, I'm just not one of those girls that try to like even bring attention to myself. And I kind of feel like in a lot of cases, if that guy approaches me, then that connection was meant to happen. And if not, that's just maybe it wasn't meant to happen, because I just can't see myself like going up to a guy like, let me get your number.
Exactly. Okay. But so many people do it. So then, because I know you've been in relationships in the past, so how did it occur? So they just kind of came up to you. How did it work?
Yeah, they approached me in the past for all of my relationships. And I think I had to learn the hard lesson of not accepting every guy that approaches me. When I was growing up, because I didn't really quite understand myself, and I was still learning who I am. Like, literally any attention that I got from a guy, I thought that was like so cute. Like, I felt like I had to respond to every guy that would approach me. But as I got older, I started to realize, like, I don't have to respond to every guy that approaches me. And if I have a choice, like, and it doesn't, like, if I don't want to talk to that guy, I can decide to either like ignore the message or let them know that I'm not interested. I felt a sense of obligation when I was younger. And I think a lot of young women feel that way. Like, they're obligated to respond to the guys, or they're so hyped off of getting attention in the first place that they respond to every guy that reaches out to them.
Absolutely. Good points. I don't know where you get this wisdom from, little girl. No.
Life experience, and learning from my mom's life experience. I love it.
I want to read some of these comments, and then maybe we can kind of feed off of that. Let's see here. Andrea Jackson says, Imani, me and you had this talk a while ago about standards. I feel like your standards are never too high. Let's see. Akila says, I honestly won't want to date men my age. I think she's saying don't want to date men her age anymore. He has to be much older than me. Baby, listen.
I want y'all to know that age don't really define things these days. Because you got some men that'll be older than us and will act like they're still in middle school. So you really got to look at the person.
You have to. I'm so glad you said that. You cannot judge by, okay, this is how black men are. Okay, this is how 40-year-olds are. This is how Christians are. This is how, I mean, you cannot. Everybody's different. And you can, and I think what I would, advise people too is that's why I really truly believe you have to take time to heal in between these relationships. Because what happens is you go and you're in one relationship, it ends horribly. And instead of dealing with that time alone, the hurt, the pain, the shame in some cases, the frustration, the questioning of yourself, you jump into another relationship because it's easier to get over the next one, but you never took the time to heal. And so now what you're doing is comparing her to him, to all of that. Let's see, dating, Serena says dating after 40 is confusing with all the rules changed. No Netflix and chill on the date. Do you do Netflix and chill, Money?
Absolutely not.
Look, I feel like a Netflix and chill is all right, but look, it's like we've been dating a good while, and it's like, okay, it's a cold winter night, but see, that's where you got to be careful.
Netflix and chill is a setup. I'm not walking into that door.
Netflix and chill is an absolute setup. Okay. You don't ask me these things at school. What's up? Oh, this is Akila. These your people.
Yeah.
Second guessing standards. Okay. Okay, so Monty, why don't you give the people maybe some final thoughts from a millennial perspective on dating in 2018, and I have somebody else I'm gonna add on to the line.
Final thoughts on dating in 2018.
Yeah.
I think that, especially for millennials, I would really, really encourage you to date yourself. If you're single, right, especially, date yourself. And really enjoy yourself. Be comfortable with going to the movies by yourself. I do it all the time, and I feel like if I hadn't had this time to myself, I wouldn't attract the right person for me. Until I completely understand who I am, I won't be able to fit right with the person that I desire to be with. Not saying you have to have it completely figured out before you start to date, but try to figure out as much as you can. So in a relationship, you're able to bring your best self in that environment.
I love it. Come on and take this wisdom from a 21-year-old amazing woman. So before you go though, Monty, tell them how they can connect to you and some of the things that you're doing and your live videos.
Absolutely. So my business page is Naturally Beautiful on Facebook. If you want to check that out, like us on Facebook. You can tune into our live videos. We just wrapped up our last episode of Mother-Daughter Morning Chats we do every Monday. So if you want to go back and watch all of those, every Friday I do a show called Expose Amazing on Facebook Live and interview dope people around the community and the great things that they're doing in the community. So check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And yeah, that's it.
All of that. Well, congratulations on all your success, everything that you're doing. You know, I support you 100%. Anytime you need me, inbox me, girl. Let's do it.
For sure.
Talk to you soon. All right, I'm gonna get you off. Whoa, that was Amani. Come on, dropping this wisdom at 21 years old. But I do want to go back to this comment Aisha said. She said, people are so focused on being single when the focus should be on God. That is real talk right there. That's real talk, because I think that's really what, you know, if we're talking dealing with believers, this is not the world standard. Now that goes back to the world standard versus, you know, God's standard. And I said this last week, you know, even the Bible says, you know, Paul said, I prefer you to be single. You know, and that's really so that your focus can be on the things of God. And that's honestly, as being single, that is where our focus should be, on the things of God. And then everything else will be added unto us, because God knows your needs even more than you do. God knows your desire even more than you do. While you're making your pros and cons list, God already got it laid out. It's already done, right? So for those people who are really desiring a mate, I'm talking about the person that God has for you, it's going to come when you press into the Father. That's what I'm saying. And it's not always easy. I'm telling you, it's not always easy. By now, I felt like I'm not just trying to, you know, I'm walking the walk. Look, we're walking it together. We're in this together. You know, and that's why I started doing this, because I've seen a lot of people doing these videos about singles, and a lot of these people that are talking about it are people who are already married and have been married for a while, and that's okay, because for a lot of people that's the goal. But in the interim, you trying to tell me how to walk this walk, and you've been married 10 years. It's very different, you know? So, but anyhow, there's a peace that surpasses all understanding, and a clarity that you can get when you shift your focus from flesh and from yourself to the spirit and the things of God. And everything will be added unto you. Somebody ought to get excited about that. That's the answer. That's the key. Okay. Faya said, focus on God. Yes, Aisha. Imani is amazing. I love her. Keela, my mom taught me those things too, as far as waiting for someone to come to me. No, ma'am. I know that's right. Where are the good women? Faya, I can't tell if I guess you're a male then. Because I'm a good woman. Wisdom. I thought I saw Serena. I was going to bring her on the camera. Men age 45 are acting like they're 18 again, and I like the little yelling faces. And she's saying, she yelling it. Men age 45 acting like they're 18. I'm telling you, it's a few of them out there, but there are some that are 45 that are acting. Ooh, Ish, look, I can bring you on this camera right now. Should I bring you on the camera? I won't, because you're not ready. But when you ready, girl. Let's see here. No Netflix. Maria says age does. What? I don't know. I was trying to read it. I can't read. She met her husband at the age of 19, and he was 27. She was 19. He was 27, and his words were not like most 19-year-olds. Oh, he was 19. I guess she was 27. He acted more like he was 30. Wait. Maria, help me out. You said you was 27 and he was 19? Help me out. Help me out. Erica said, dating in 2018 for millennials. Word of advice. Don't. Y'all funny. Y'all are too funny to me. Let's see. Come on, Amani. I love you, sweetie. Yes, we love Amani. Y'all talking. I'm sorry I missed all these talking. Who else want to come on? Look, I got to know you before I bring you on, though. Ain't gonna have no foolishness up in here. Valerie, would you like to come on to the camera and chat? I don't see my other guest here. Oh, I guess he thought he was coming on at 8:45. But yeah, so that's it, guys. That's pretty much it. So that's what we're kind of talking about. Mia, are you still there? Mia, I'll bring you on again, girl, because I feel like we got short last time. Yes, Val, come on. I'm going to see if I can add Mia real quick, because I saw her on here. Okay, Mia. Look, come on back on. Let's see if I can do it. Try to add yourself. Okay. Oh, Valerie's going to come on. You have to. Okay, you're on your computer. See, child, I don't know, y'all. Let me see if I can do it. Oh, hold on. Valerie, I'll have to bring you on after Mia. We're trying again. Here's Mia.
Oh, there we go. Good evening.
Good evening again. People don't know how to use this live, so I'm just bringing on random people.
Oh, okay. Let me get my
But
camera.
you kind of already know that you did all your downloads last week.
Oh yeah, updates, people. Believe in the updates.
The rotating of the phone. So good. So we talked about a few things last week, but today we're just kind of doing a continuation of being single, saved, and dating. And so some stuff that I was kind of wanting to touch on were like the roles, especially when you're
here with earrings on and stuff, girl. No
we out here. Look, I'm dressed from the waist up. That's all y'all need to know. So check it out.
But okay, it's
all
fine
right.
because
All y'all
this is what they're gonna get when
exactly.
I'm okay with it. I don't have to always be beat.
You look amazing.
You too, darling.
Thank you, darling.
But
okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Let's jump into the role. So this is the issue that I've been having. This is something that I've heard some guys say. Hopefully we'll have another man jump on.
Okay.
He said that if whoever asks or initiates the get-together pays.
Okay.
Is that something you heard, or is that real?
You know what? I guess, I would say yes to a certain extent, but I don't believe in the ask. I'm not going to ask a man out. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to start off being the head, because I think you call it like the alpha female.
Yeah.
And that is my time. You know, I was like, I'm a boss at work. I'm a boss at, you know, with my kids. And can I at least, you know, calm down and be a female with my man and wear the dress? And so that's why I will never, and even now, I think I was crushing on somebody about a year ago. And I was like, oh, should I ask? Should I ask? And my auntie all on there like, girl, it's 2017. You know, you should ask. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not comfortable with it personally. But I believe if I was the one to ask a man on a date, I think you should pay.
What? Listen, if I ask you,
do the asking.
And here's why. No, I mean, and here's the thing. Now, if I just straight out ask, like, hey, listen, I don't know. It made me feel some kind of way. But if here's the thing. If you're talking about a movie, let's say you're like, oh, man, I really want to go see Black Panther. And then I say, well, we should go. That doesn't mean now I'm about to.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't initiate. And that don't even sound like a date. That could be friends.
Right.
It just, we could go. We could have that same conversation.
True.
But I'm saying, like, if you go, excuse me, hey, I was wondering if you would go on a date with me, and you literally ask a man like he will ask you, I think you should just go and pay. But I wouldn't do it personally because, I'm not going to pay.
I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. I'm not trying to put down any woman that is like, listen, I got my money. You want to go to this movie? Because people have been saying, like, okay, these are the women that are getting these brothers because they're opening up their mouth. Because believe it or not, every man, it's not even that, you got some men that are looking for like sugar mamas, but every man isn't necessarily like that. Some men really are shy. You know what I mean? I do know of some men that they have a hard time being an initiator. And for me, that would get on my nerves after a while anyway, because what you gonna say?
It would get on mine too. Yeah. A closed mouth don't get fed,
baby. So. And I think for me, like I said, my other thing is just because I'm in control of so much of my life.
Yeah.
I do so much all the time. I'm always the one. It's like at some point, I just want to surrender. Like,
exactly. And be submissive. And being submissive
yes.
At some point. I completely understand. And so that is the reason why I'm not going to ask a man out on a date. I just believe in, if he's going to be the head, start off being the head. Because I date with attention. I'm not just doing random dates. My attention is that I'm looking for, I'm trying to be seen by my husband. Or be found by my husband. So, I got these little dating chronicles going on. But...
I think it's crazy. This is what kind of makes me tired, honestly, with this whole single thing is, okay, I gotta wait, or I gotta do, it's like and that's why I do like the idea of just let me just seek God and let it kind of come together. Now, here's something. Now, I would love to bring Ish on to talk about this, or maybe next time, but she says that Megan Good pursued her boo. She claimed it, and she's happily married. So I don't know about that story. Maybe I need to watch, because I don't know about her. Megan Good pursued him how? Like, I would love to know that. You know what I mean? Did she just make herself available, or did she? I just doubt that she really was pursuing him like a man.
Yeah, but especially he's a man of God. I don't see him. I mean, I try to make myself found, like you said. If it's something that you like, if he work out at the gym at 5:00 on Tuesday, you go to the gym at 5:00.
That's all I'm saying. Yes.
So yeah. I can understand that portion of it, but I can't. I'm trying to remember. I read a couple of his books, but I'm like, did I skip that?
I don't know about that. I would, if somebody knows that and wants to come on, I would love to bring them on to talk a little bit more about that. So then, how do you meet guys in 2018? Ooh. How do you meet guys? It's rough out here in these streets. That's all we're saying. It's rough out here in these streets.
It's kind of bad. Even like, you can't even say like the gym or the grocery store, or, any place like that. I mean,
you can't even barely meet them at church.
Oh no,
You want to know? Because half of hi Gregory, we're going. Oh yeah, we got a man to bring on. Because what I'm gonna say, a lot of them are gay, and a lot of them are already married.
Yeah.
You know, you just got. It's like
And
I'm
they
talking about
old.
a certain age. You said
They're
and they old.
Our old deacons, I don't want at my church. I think if I went to a younger church, I go to a small ministry, and my mama said that I would never give anybody well, nobody at my church ain't getting a chance. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, and it's so crazy. And then people try, oh, that's what I was reading. Now, here's the thing. Like, we have this whole idea of what dating is now. But there wasn't, I mean, dating wasn't, or getting, or being in a relationship back in the day didn't have anything to do with what the qualities that we look for now. Back in the day, it was about keeping the lineage of your family going. And that's all it was.
That's true.
Now we just trying to figure out, does he match my swag?
Exactly. He's not allowed to.
Right.
Some things. And honestly, I'm looking for me personally. I really believe in the equally yoked. That they have to have the same desire and relationship with God. Reason being is that when I'm in worship, or they will understand, and when I'm fasting, because I have to minister, that they will be on that same wavelength and respect it, instead of trying to cause strife, or letting the enemy use them, because they understand that. And when it's time for them to be at that point, I can understand that. So I think that's something that's important to me. So wherever you are, I just believe you need to be equally yoked.
I agree.
Like-minded. You can't get in with anybody who's just content with working a part-time job at FedEx. You hustle too hard. And that will...
No shade on the FedEx workers, because no
shade on the FedEx worker. But I'm just saying that you have a hunger in you that, somebody gonna need to match that. They have their own hunger going on there. And it's just about being equally yoked. No shade on the FedEx worker.
No, yeah. So I want to ask you this real quick. Would you ever date someone that was not Christian?
Depending if the bad girl want to come out and see somebody, but no, not honestly, because I date with intention.
But look, why the bad girl got to come out? I'm not saying that he's. Look, we see what your head is. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is not, like, you know what I mean? Like, some people, I know some Christian women who date Muslim men. You see what I'm saying?
Oh no. And no shade on I just think that will cause conflict. Yeah. Because it's not equally yoked. You have a religion that you are faithful to, but we have some differences. And I might have a pork chop sandwich, and you gonna have a problem with that. And so
that's the least. Listen, that's the least worry is the pork chop sandwich.
But that's just a minor example. That's just me being me.
I love it.
But there will be other things that that it will cause disagreement. It will cause strife, unnecessary strife. And the Bible tells us to endure the peace. We have to work at it. We have to pursue it.
Yeah.
And so I know that's one thing that I'm gonna stand my ground when it comes to God and the Word of God. If you can't show it to me in the Bible, that's why I'm okay with swine, because God said, all that. It's good to eat. Whatever he made, it is good. And people want to go into different arguments and bring up Old Testament scriptures and things like that. But, I'm not into arguing the Word of God. And I know and no shade to Muslims, and, but, I just could see that being a strife with some of our things, our values and things.
Well, like I said, to each, his or her own. A good friend of mine married. She's Christian. She married a Muslim man. They've been married for 14 years, and they have a beautiful marriage. But I think that the challenge does come if you're a leader in the Christian faith, or a leader because then there is something that, you know, somebody has to stand for something. You know, you got to be able to think about what are you teaching your children,
Exactly.
you know, kind of, you know what I mean, in that regard. And I think that, you know, and I'm not saying what's better or worse or whatever, but I'm just saying that there could be some friction.
Yeah,
so you do have to think about that. But Mia, I love you for being a great sport.
Oh, no problem.
Come on in. All right, Faya, we'll see you. And then,
all right.
Okay, I'll see you soon. All right. All right. That was Mia. She came in on the spot, y'all. My original guest wasn't able to. It was her screen got frozen. So, who's that? Uh-oh. I lost my thing. Hold on here. Yes, what leads the relationship. Exactly. So I think I saw Gregory join here. So I'm going to bring on Gregory if I can see him, because he was one of my original guests. So again, for those people who have just joined, we are talking about being saved, single, and dating. So let's see if we can get a male perspective in here. See how this works out. It says adding. This is Gregory D. Pickins. I feel like I say his name wrong every time. Hey, Greg, if it doesn't add you, then you may have to try to add yourself, and then I'll accept you on. So again, we're talking about being saved, single, and dating. And, you know, there's certain rules and standards that, you know, people in Christian faith have versus the world. And so, you know, sometimes I want to know, are these standards realistic? You know, is it really possible to be celibate? Is it really possible to, it's crazy out here. These people don't know about turning your phone to the side, join, see it all the time. Gregory, let's try one more time, and then I gave them instructions, Tony. And rotate your phone, okay? So we're gonna try it again, and then rotate your phone. Okay, I think you're coming on. Approve. Hold on. I know, I'm just saying it again for people who just joined. Let me try one more time, guys. Thanks for being patient. We gotta get the male perspective. We're trying it again. And we're moving. Come on. I love when it finally connects. It just does something to my soul. I just feel like, yes, we did it. Gregory, what is it saying? So Gregory, while we're waiting for him to come on, I actually had inboxed him last week and asked him to come on to the show. Exactly, Ish. I'm telling you, trust your BF. I'm not gonna ever bring you on something that you wouldn't feel comfortable doing. So yeah, last week I brought on Greg, or I was trying to bring him on, and I was saying I was looking for single people to talk to, and he said, "Oh, I'm not single," and so I responded back, and I said, "Oh, you're married?" And he was like, "No." So I was like, wow, that's a great question. So one of my questions is, if and when he comes on, what constitutes a single status? You know what I mean? What constitutes? Okay, we'll try. Do it one more time, Greg. Try to join one more time. And if not, then we'll wrap it up. So my question is, what constitutes a single status? I know of some people, and then I have one other thing I want to bring up. I know of some people that, baby, you can't tell them they not married, and they ain't got a lick of paper. So does the paper really make a difference? Does a paper really make a difference? Are you, do you believe in common law? Like you've been with a person long enough Akila says the worst thing a Christian did was offer her word of advice based on her beliefs without first asking mine. I have no idea what you're talking about, Akila. Did someone ask you something specifically? Okay. Hey, Nicole, thanks for joining. So my question was, what constitutes a single status? Oh, okay. I guess. Okay. Okay. Greg says, invite me again. We're gonna try this one more again. Add Greg. It says adding. We're waiting for a little bit. Now, here's my thing, though, because I know a lot, and again, without sharing anyone's business too much, I know of people who waited till marriage to do everything, to have sex. You know, they did everything, quote unquote, the right way, and the marriage didn't even make it some months, not even a year. You know what I mean? And so it makes you question this whole path, this whole thing of trying to be perfect and trying to make it right and trying to, you know what I mean? Is it possible? Is it worth it? And I think it really just depends on your faith level. It doesn't look like it's working for Greg. So I may add one more person. I asked her about something relation. Who is her? And before I know it, she was talking about church. Who are you talking about, Akila? I guess that's it for tonight, guys. Unless we want to get one more person on. Nicole, you want to try to come on? What you looking like, girl? I want a guy. Tony, you want to come on again? Don't make me mad, though, Tony, if I bring you on again. Ron says exceptions to everything, but very, very difficult if you're going in different directions with your beliefs. Oh, I got you, Akila. I got you. All right, guys. Well, that's really all I have. Because I had, I wanted to talk to my guests, child. I wanted to talk to my peoples. But when it comes down to it, overall, oh my God, I can't. Overall, the question and the thought of the day was, being single, saved, and dating. Is it possible? Not even is it possible, but what's the process? How do you do it? Especially when I think the issue for me is that when you reach, oh, Valerie, I forgot about you on there. You was getting ready. I'm bringing Valerie on. Talk a little bit. And then I'll bring Tony on and I'm gone. This is fun, right, guys? We just jib-jabbing. Tony, you going to be my male perspective? Valerie. I know for the people watching, when we go through this part, I know it's so annoying. It was like, talk about something. Valerie, I'm adding you. I wish it could be quick. You got to rotate your phone when I add you. I'm going to scroll down to this last thing that I saw here. All right, I'm losing folk. So, Valerie, I tried to add you, not working. We'll do Tony one more time. Tony, listen. Be in the camera. Oh, hold on. There should be 3 categories: single, dating with purpose, and married. Well, at this point, I guess we're going to wrap it up because Facebook Live won't let us be great. I know I'm trying to add you. It's not working. It makes me sad. It makes me so sad because I would like talking about this stuff. So here's a question. Here's a couple questions I had. Each says, keep the... get out of here. Keep God the center of your relationship and your life rather than a man and woman you're dating. How long should you date before marriage? How long should you date before marriage? Some people get married super, super fast, you know. So when you really like, it's easy to date, just date. When you don't like the person that much, but when you really like somebody, personally, that's where it gets a little difficult for me. I really like them. As long as you take to be ready. 2 days. Mia said 2 days. All right. I'm going to try Gregory one more time. And then we're going to go. So that was my other question. My other one was, we talked about group dating already. Ish, I would love to know how y'all group date. Guys, I think we're done. I tried. So this is what y'all need to do. Pray for your sister that she can get a production team. Pray for your sister. She can get money. 2 years. 2 years? He said you gotta wait 2 years before you get married. Who wanna wait? I don't want to wait 2 years when I finally meet the person that I really want to get with. What I'm gonna do for 2 years just looking? I can't. I feel like if I meet the person, I guess you know what? It's all relative. What'd you say? I want to bring somebody on. I don't want to talk about myself today. As long as it takes to get to know each other. That's what Lloyd says. Finance, planning, well, yeah. A year. Tony said Ish is fine. Work the wait. Gregory says as long as it takes. Some people marry quickly to have sex and not be sinning no more. Right. Because the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn. Nicole said I'm not holding on longer than a year because ain't nobody got time. Nicole, I'm trying to bring you on the camera. I want to bring on one more person. And then I'll feel good about getting off. Do Ivana want to come on? Then I'll feel good about it. See? People be scared. Y'all see, I'm sitting up here ain't saying nothing, just looking at the camera trying to add people. Let's see here. Montreal, what's up? You want to come on? Whoops. You want to come on the camera, Montreal? Who here, Jack? Oh, this is exhausting when it don't work. Okay, here go my wrap up. Oh, you ready? Okay, Nicole is trying.
Hey, y'all. Wild hair.
Yay! Wait, how some people work and some people don't? That's what's irritating to me. Like, so tell me what happened. So did I add you or did you try to join me?
No, you actually added me, but I think you have to turn the phone first in order for people to go live if they want to.
Hear that, people? Turn the phone. You gotta rotate the phone. Mm-hmm, you gotta rotate the phone.
Buttons until you do.
That's all I'm saying. So Nicole, welcome to Single Talk.
Hi. Unexpectedly.
Yes, unexpectedly. A few people been on unexpectedly, and you have to update Facebook me. It says make sure your Facebook is up to date. So Nicole, so you've heard some of the stuff that we've been talking about.
Yeah, like the last 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Hey Arnita, hey everybody. So basically so we're talking, the overall umbrella is single, saved, and dating. Okay. So, and then of course we got the world standards of dating and the word standards of dating. And so we were just kind of talking about, as it pertains to you specifically, how are you doing? How you making it work? Because people, they love to say all you got to do is this and all you got to do is that, but talking it and saying it and then doing it and living it is something else. So talk about your current walk and how dating in 2018 has been for you, if at all.
Well, I have a very interesting story.
Yes. Do tell.
So I have been single for 8.5 years. I've been abstinent for 8 years. So my whole walk and just dating and
pause.
Yes,
I just want somebody to let that bask in. 8 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Abstinent.
Yes, ma'am.
As you were. Continue.
And so my whole journey of even dating per se, in between that has been totally different. I think since I've been single, as far as even going on a date, might have been like once or twice. But I know for me, as far as my journey, I've been hidden the whole time. Like I've been, nope, ain't your time yet. Like chill out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's just been my journey. But I know everybody's journey is different. There are some people that feel like, I feel like I'm ready to date, quote unquote, or some people feel like I've been in this relationship for a year, 2 years, whatever that looks like, and that conversation of marriage or that desire for marriage does arise. So everybody's journey is different, but I can only speak for me. I know for me, throughout my 8.5 year process, I definitely had to prepare. I definitely had to get myself together and work on certain things. And preparation for me looked like getting my life together, figuring out my identity, what I want to really do in life, and really do it, not wait till marriage, not wait to get into a relationship to actually start that process. And so, now I'm actually able to start building my business and, not to, basically operate in purpose and not wait for someone to come along in order to do that. So that's been my journey.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. And so, if you, so over this course of 8 years, have you dated or connected, or with someone that you liked at all, or has it really just been a soul journey?
At one point, I would say it was at least one or two individuals that I connected with, one whom I already knew and went to the military with and all that greatness. But again, it was some things that really stuck out during that time frame of me really getting to know them or seeing if we could move further. And it didn't end up working out,
Yeah. How did you date? When you met these people, how did you date? I think that's always the question. Because people, there's some people who do these group dates, and then you have people who, make sure they have boundaries set. So how did that work for you?
Oh, yes. Boundaries, definitely. But, okay, so one lived in another state, so that was like 10 times easier. Like, no temptation.
Oh, yeah.
Go crazy. Like, might come and visit like once a year, something like that, for work or something like that, but that was like 10 times easier. The other, we actually connected through, this is gonna sound bad, but whatever. We actually connected through social media.
That doesn't sound bad. Let me just jump in real quick.
Everybody's story is different.
Listen, people have issues. People be shamed. People try to shame people for meeting on social media or online dating, but secretly they be in people's DMs. I'm saying.
And there are some successful married couples, successful in people that have gotten engaged, and all of that have met through social media. So I'm not really against it. However, I am use tons of wisdom. Wisdom is key. Definitely.
Wait. Okay. Sorry. Interruption again. This is from Arnita. She says, Just asking. She says, just asking. No phone sex, sexting, no stuff, nothing.
No, ma'am. I didn't even see that on here. I wouldn't like answer.
Well, all right.
I mean, I've not been perfect. Like, again, there's definitely been temptation, but to actually get to that point, no, not at all. But yeah, I remember the last date I went on, which was a few years ago. We finally met up at like Starbucks for about an hour, and we hardly talked. It was so weird. Like, we're sitting right next to each other, and it was so awkward, so weird. And eventually, like, we were just like, okay, it's time to go, because it was just so weird and so awkward. And so, again, for me, I'm very wise. Like, I'll watch you from a distance. I'll talk to you to really see where your mind is and all that before I even get to the thought or in the process of, well, maybe I could date this person. Because eventually, once you let people talk, once you allow people to truly show you who they are, the good and the bad, you'll really be able to discern. Like, I've been able to discern whether or not to, allow that person to pursue me or not.
I love it.
So, yeah, like
Nicole,
it's definitely.
You're dope. You're super dope running over. Okay, on top of, this walk, just, I always love to, give people their little, they're not little, but their accolades and stuff. She's absolutely amazing. Poet, violist, just an amazing musician, singer, and just so much more overall. Amazing catch, and how much more valuable because you know your worth. You know what I mean? And so, there's a yes, for the standard. There, see, and I love it. And this is kind of that's why I like to show all different kinds of people, because there's people who believe that it's all talk. Everybody, it's all talk. Ain't nobody really doing it. Here's a young lady that is doing it. And, people are loving what you're saying. People got their hands up. What Tony said something. She said, you haven't had sex for 8 years. Who can judge you? Excellent job. So, man, keep being an inspiration. And thank you for coming on live out of nowhere.
Like, let me throw on a cute shirt and not have no makeup on, but I'm all right.
Honey, you look like your skin is like milk right now. Milk and honey is glowing. I love it. Praise him. That's just the anointing of the Holy Ghost. All right. So, all right, Nicole. Well, I'm going to get off because we've been on for a little while now, and I see that Gregory tried one more time, so I may try to get one man on here before we go. But thanks for joining, and thanks for sharing your story.
No problem, girl. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye. We'll try Greg once more and again. Once more and again. Oh, where'd he go? Or maybe he left. Maybe I can't take y'all. All right, well, we tried it. Didn't we? We tried it, guys. Well, that was good. I think he's gone now. Let me see. Yeah, I think he's gone now. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging with us. Y'all funny. Hanging with us. Thank you again. Worship Key. Hashtag Nicole Watson. And who else came on today? Mia Lott. Some of y'all came on and didn't even know I was going to pull you on. Imani Ray came on. Valerie, thanks for trying to come on. I think this was good. I think this was good tonight. We talked about some stuff. Certain things people agree with, some people don't. But when it comes down to it, this is your life. And at the end of it, you got to deal with the maker yourself. So you got to make choices that are best for you. If you're a believer, then we make those choices based on the word of God. It's possible. And I just want to continue to have a platform to expose people to people that are doing it, that aren't just talking about it, but they're actually doing it, that are actually celibate, that are actually holding up a standard, that are actually believing God for their blessing, for their miracles. And then also, I can't wait to talk to some of the singles that are good by themselves. They don't even want nobody. They good. I've got a couple friends like that too. So anyhow, you guys join me next week at 8 o'clock for Single Talk. And we're going to be talking to people that are now single, but used to be married. So people who are divorced, which they have a completely different approach and a completely different perspective than people that are single, never married, so on and so forth. So, and then I definitely want to talk with people who are single with children, because that's a whole different perspective too. So, well, we've been on for a little over an hour now. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Be blessed. And I think I wanted to leave something with you. This was from Relevant magazine. And they say, as far as it comes to dating, it said, it's time to take the pressure off trying to date biblically. Instead, see the entirety of your interactions with others, including how we date, as an opportunity to connect with God, to become our best and reflect Him to the people He brings into our life, because there is truly nothing more biblical than that. So you may not see dating in the Bible, but God definitely talks about relationships. So start with that relationship first with God, then yourself, and I'm telling you, everything else will be added unto it. All right, you guys be blessed and know that you're not alone. We walk in this walk together. Join me next week for Single Talk at 8 o'clock.